are getting Irfan Ansari, Minister of Health, of Medical Education and Family Welfare of Jharkhand, who's joining us live right now. इरफान जी, हमें बहुत ही ट्रैजिक न्यूज़ मिल रही है इस एयरप्लेन क्रैश की, और हमें कुछ बहुत विजुअल्स भी मिल रहे हैं अभी ग्राउंड से. अभी क्या लेटेस्ट है, क्या अभी कुछ रेस्क्यू और रिकवरी एफर्ट्स चल रहे हैं? हमें पता है कि अभी एक इंसान की मौत हो चुकी है इसमें.
देखिए मैडम, चार्टर एम्बुलेंस था हमारा, और जो पेशेंट को एक दूसरी जगह से हम लोग भेजते हैं, उसी क्रम में जो जानकारी मुझे मिली है, आज शाम 7 बजे जो बिरसा मुंडा एयरपोर्ट से जो उड़ान भरी और उसके बाद उसे 8:30 में दिल्ली पहुंचना था. इसी बीच जो है मैडम, वो जो जानकारी है कि भारी बारिश और आंधी तूफान के कारण ये प्लेन जो है वो एटीसी से संपर्क टूट गया और लापता हो गया. और अभी जो जानकारी मिल रही है कि प्लेन क्रैश हो गया है, मलबा मिला है वो चतरा के बीच जंगल में. तो हमने टीम को वहाँ भेजा है, सुरक्षा एजेंसियों को मैंने भेजा है, स्थानीय प्रशासन को मैंने भेज दिया है और पूरे जोन को मैंने अलर्ट कर दिया है. और अभी हम लोग खोजबीन कर रहे हैं कि क्या किसी को बचाया जा सकता है क्या. तो ऐसी कोई अभी तक कोई आधिकारिक कोई सूचना हमें नहीं प्राप्त हुई है. लेकिन मैं अभी एरिया में हूँ, गांव में था, मैं आनंद फानंद में चतरा जा रहा हूँ. लेकिन मैं कह सकता हूँ कि बहुत बड़ी घटना है मैम मेरे झारखंड के लिए. हम लोग जान बचाते हैं, हम लोगों ने चार्टर एम्बुलेंस को हायर किया था ताकि लोगों की जान बचाया जा सके. और ऐसे में जो पेशेंट के साथ साथ उसके अटेंडेंट, एक नर्स, एक फैमिली मेंबर और पायलट की जान चली गई. तो बहुत बड़ी घटना है ये हमारे लिए.
हमें पता है कि अब तक एक इंसान की मौत हुई है इसमें. हमें और कोई जानकारी है कि कितने लोग, क्योंकि 7 लोग मौजूद थे इस एयरक्राफ्ट पे, वो कौन कौन थे और बाकी के क्या हालात है फिलहाल?
मैडम अभी एक की बॉडी रिकवरी हुआ है और अभी सब मिसिंग है. तो थोड़ा वेट एंड वॉच करता हूँ. अभी मैं अपडेट लेके मैं आपको बताता हूँ मैम. अभी कुछ कहना जल्दीबाजी होगा, जब तक डिटेल हमारे पास नहीं आ जाए तो कहना जल्दीबाजी होगा.
और हम जानते हैं इसमें एक पायलट, को पायलट और कुछ पैरामेडिक्स इन्वॉल्व थे. बाकी पेशेंट्स जो इसमें थे वो कौन लोग थे? क्या वो आम जनता थी? वो अपना ट्रीटमेंट के लिए दिल्ली आए थे? हमें उनके बारे में कुछ जानकारी दीजिए.
मैम देखिए, ये जो हम लोग चार्टर एम्बुलेंस हम लोगों ने किया है यहाँ पे झारखंड में, ये सेवाएं देती है. कोई पेशेंट को अगर कहीं जाना हो, दूसरे राज्य में इलाज कराना हो, तो हम लोग उसको मुहैया कराते हैं. तो पेशेंट कौन थे, कहाँ थे, थोड़ा सा समय दीजिए, मैं डिटेल ले रहा हूँ और आपको मैं बताऊंगा. मैं थोड़ा समय दीजिए, अभी थोड़ा जल्दीबाजी होगा.
ओके. और ये जो प्लेन इन्वॉल्व था इसमें,
बिग लॉस फॉर झारखंड.
क्या आप इस प्लेन का इस्तेमाल फ्रीक्वेंटली करते थे? और आपने पिछले ही 1-2 महीने में इसका कितनी बार इस्तेमाल किया होगा? क्या आपने इसकी सही जांच करवाई थी इस प्लेन को हायर करने से पहले?
प्राइवेट एजेंसी को हम लोगों ने दिया था. वो लगातार कई वर्षों से हम लोग चला रहे थे एम्बुलेंस को. इस तरह की घटना तो कभी नहीं घटी, लेकिन न जाने ऐसा क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ. ये बहुत पहले से हम लोगों ने हायर किया था, किसी एजेंसी को हम लोगों ने दिया था. और उसका काम ही है कि जो एक पेशेंट को दूसरे राज्य तक ले जाना, लोग उसको हायर करते हैं. गवर्नमेंट सब्सिडी देती है, कुछ लोगों का पैसा भी होता है. तो मैम अभी मैं आपको ओवरऑल मैं कह सकता हूँ कि थोड़ा हमें समय दीजिए. आई एम ऑन द वे, मैं जा रहा हूँ. मैं वहाँ पहुँचकर मैं आपको अपडेट करूंगा मैम.
बिल्कुल. That was Irfan Ansari, Minister of Health, and he's en route his way to where the plane has crashed. He's telling us that this was a plane which was frequently being used to transport people who were in need of medical attention, and they were regularly being flown from Jharkhand to wherever they needed the medical attention to. This was a subsidized treatment that was also being provided to the patients, and so far we know that 1 person has died. There was pilot, a co-pilot, and 7 people total on board who were present. These are the visuals of the plane that we are getting in. We can see some debris, we can hear some sounds of the people. It is yet to be ascertained what exactly was happening on the ground, but we do know that at around 7:34 p.m. the plane lost touch with the radar, and it was flying in from Jharkhand to Delhi carrying patients on board because it was an air ambulance. Now, as my colleague Amit Bhardwaj rightly pointed out, this is the second air emergency air crash that we are seeing in less than a month. Remember, just uh, in January, we saw a crash happening in Baramati. That was a Tata aircraft as well. And now, in less than a month, we're seeing another airplane crash in Jharkhand. And this was carrying 7 people on board, out of which at least many of them were patients. For more on that, now I'll bring back Amit Bhardwaj in. Amit, now we're learning that, we just spoke to Irfan Ansari, who's a Minister of Health, and he's also going on route to really see what was happening. He was giving us more information about this plane and how it usually flew in with the patients, and it was sort of a subsidized plane. What more do we know about this Tata aircraft?
More information have been confirmed to us. What we are learning is that it was Captain Vivek, Vikas, Bhagat, and Captain Sarwadeep Singh who were operating this craft when it took off from Ranchi. So this is obviously a small craft, small charter aircraft that had taken off from Ranchi this evening around 7:11. All through the craft journey, it is supposed that the craft will be under the radar of the system. And what happened was around 7:34, the craft went off the radar. So that could be also the time when it actually, the crash might have happened because there could be no other justification for the craft being out of the radar. Having said that, more details are awaited. The doctor's name has been also confirmed. The paramedic name has been also confirmed to us. There was one lady on the craft, possibly the attendant who was taking care of the patient. So as far as the casualty numbers are concerned, we'll have to wait for a while for official confirmation coming from the local authorities. Right now, the Ministry of Civil Aviation is dispatching the Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau team for the probe of the accident. And this becomes even more crucial, Jessica, because it's been less than a month when we saw Ajit Pawar's tragic end in Baramati, the crash happening in Baramati. And after that, the Ministry had very specifically said as to how it is going to carry out detailed, audit of the private charter companies. The crafts were already being audited. All the crafts, whether the safety audits are happening properly or not, whether other norms are being followed properly or not. And in less than a month's time, you have another tragic accident happening in the state of Jharkhand. In Chatra, this was Kasaria Panchayat where the accident has happened. 7 people were on board, including the 2 pilots who were operating the craft. So why this accident has happened, that is being looked into by the DGCA right now, and more information, technical information, is awaited in this particular regard. But certainly, death numbers are certain. We will have to wait for that official word coming from the local administration as well, because at this point in time, not only the Civil Aviation Ministry and the DGCA is looking into this matter, but because this also concerns death of people on board, the local administration there is also coordinating with the ministry at this point in time. And, what we can certainly say is that there could be possibility of some fault within the craft because, whether it was because of some bad weather, because initially we had seen in Baramati as well, initially it was being said that the visibility could have been one of the reasons for the crash. But eventually, the statement by the ministry had cleared the doubt on that particular aspect. But we'll have to wait for a while for the ministry to further come up with the details. But we can certainly say the AAIB team has been dispatched for the probe. The local administration is on the ground to take, provide the support that is required in accidents, tragic accidents of this sort. And the details that we have with us, 2 pilots who were flying the craft, their names have been confirmed. There was one lady passenger on the craft, possibly the attendant of the patient for whom this charter craft was being used as air ambulance. The operator of the craft is Redbird Airways Private Limited, and the accident, the crash, has happened in Kasaria Panchayat, which falls in the Chatra district of Jharkhand. So further details are waited as far as the technical aspect is concerned of the crash. And as far as the death toll is concerned, unfortunately, we'll have to, use that word because it seems like that the numbers are expected to increase. But we'll have to wait for the final confirmation coming from the local administration right there in that particular regard. Jessica.
Right. So now we know that there were two pilots, Captain Vivek Bhagat and Captain Sarwadeep Singh, and there was one woman also present on board. So far, we know that one person's life has been claimed in this deadly crash which happened in Jharkhand when this air ambulance was en route from Jharkhand to Delhi at about 7:34. The aircraft lost its connection with the radar in Kolkata, and that's from where we're getting these tragic visuals from. Thank you so much for joining in, Amit.